Praful. A few hours of drama in the first half of the day. Finally, she lands up in prison in Bengaluru, but shockingly retaining two of her relatives and elevating one of them to party number 2 position. What happens next?
In fact, this drama has overshadowed, ISRO's achievement, UP elections, Uttarakhand polling. Everybody was following what Chinnamma is going to do. Interestingly, she tried to get some time from SC, and SC said immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
It was a very blunt statement by the court. Do you understand the meaning of immediately?
Yeah. So what was she trying to do? She in fact did that. She tried to keep the complete control over the party by inducting Dinakaran and Prabhakaran. Now, by doing this, she has done another important thing. One is she reminded in a way Tamil Nadu people that, okay, because in 2011 when Dinakaran and Prabhakar was expelled from the party by none other than J. Jayalalitha, it was even Sasikala who was expelled from the party. After 3 months only Sasikala brought back, while Dinakaran stayed out because of various stories that are floating in Tamil Nadu.
What is it indicative of this, of getting them back, and also the delaying tactics that she tried to adopt, which were totally snubbed by the Supreme Court?
See, one is, of course, she wants to keep a complete control over the, the party machinery. Secondly, she wants somebody to look after the things that she is controlling now after Jayalalitha, especially the related to her financial pressures. So these two things she has ensured, but the reality is she has lost the control. Because as I said, Dinakaran and Prabhakar, till the last moment Jayalalitha didn't accept them in the party. So what she is trying to give the message? Is she really following Jayalalitha's legacy? That is the question she will have
compromising
to
there on Jayalalitha's legacy?
Yes.
Something which has been talking about high and mighty.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And both the sides are now claiming that legacy. Now what next? It is very tough question, but one interesting development that is a report that is coming, that a case is filed against Sasikala of kidnapping and forcefully keeping 120 MLAs in a resort. So again, a new issue has cropped up in Tamil Nadu politics. Now on the one hand, you have new face, a puppet face on behalf of Sasikala. You have now a new assertive Panir Selvam on the other side. So this is a very interesting situation we are getting.
And governor takes a call now. We will discuss the options in the current scenario as far as numbers with both the factions are concerned, although both factions are claiming they have numbers supporting them, the majority that is. But before that, let's try and get to know more who Sasikala is, her background, her entire journey, her story. Vivekanandan Krishnaveni Sasikala, who is also known as Sasikala Natarajan, though is now no more, in fact, though is actually acting General Secretary of the AIADMK, even if she continues to serve in prison. But she was known in the national political turf as close aide of J. Jayalalitha, the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, who headed AIADMK from 1989 until her death in 2016. And after Jayalalitha's death, the party's General Council unanimously appointed Sasikala her as the chief of AIADMK. Sasikala again shot to limelight after the demise of Jayalalitha, but for different reasons. Here's the story of her life, from running a video parlor to Pose Garden, and then finally, which ended in prison, at least for a few years.
On Wednesday, as Sasikala headed to surrender herself, she stopped at the samadhi of her benefactor Jayalalitha to pay her respects. The same Jayalalitha who had elevated her to heights she would never have perhaps imagined. She even reached the CM's chair, but alas, it was not to be. The story goes back 25 years when Sasikala ran a simple video parlor. When circumstances emerged after Jayalalitha's death, she openly declared herself a savior as she saw an opportunity to take over from Panir Selvam. In 1984, as Jayalalitha was M.G. Ramachandran's propaganda secretary, Sasikala's husband Natarajan was working in the information department. He used all his clout to land her the rights to videograph all the rallies. And then in 1987, when Janaki Ramachandran's supporters sought to oust Jayalalitha from the party, Sasikala and Jayalalitha grew ever closer. Theirs was an association with its fair share of ups and downs. In 1991, after Jayalalitha became the chief minister, there were accusations that Sasikala's relatives were taking undue advantage of her closeness to Jayalalitha. Sasikala remained unfazed. Rival parties too cast numerous aspersions, but Sasikala stood by Jayalalitha, even though the latter did try to distance herself. In 1995, the relationship between the two was presented to the public, as Jayalalitha adopted Sasikala's nephew and organized one of the most lavish weddings the state had seen for him. It was also after this that allegations of disproportionate assets began gathering steam against the two friends. When a call to oust Sasikala from the party was given by the cadre after Jayalalitha's rout in the 1996 polls, Jayalalitha refused to comply. In 1996, she was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate under the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. While it is true that Jayalalitha distanced herself from her adopted son Sudhakaran and the rest of the family, Sasikala did manage to make repeated comebacks, despite rifts between them. Insiders say that Sasikala had a lot of influence when it came to ticket distribution. That's why veteran leaders are so close to her. But that loyalty exists no longer, probably because the arm of the law has intervened to an extent that now nothing can be done to save her. News Night Desk, TV News.
Praful, perfect political saga. The post Jayalalitha's death, and not only that, Jayalalitha's story, then Sasikala's association with her, and now which is culminated in such a political crisis in the state, which was dominated and ruled by Jayalalitha to a larger extent. Now with governor in the current scenario, what are the options with the governor? And also there were a lot of speculations initially, some political observers saying, why is he waiting? Although his wait is now proven right.
Absolutely. I think he made his judgment clear on day one itself when he decided to discuss the Attorney General and all legal consultations he got into, because otherwise it was very easy to go for a new chief minister, and within 3 days, if she would have faced the same situation which we are seeing now, it would have been a real embarrassment. On the other hand, when the sitting chief minister is saying that I was forced, I was not aware that the meeting of MLAs were called for my resignation, and I was forced to resign. I think again it is a matter of contestation whether that real his post has to be tested on the floor of the assembly. Now I think the stage has set, because the real question is, yes, as far as AIADMK General Council is concerned, Sasikala is accepted as the General Secretary. About MLAs, we don't know. As far as cadre, AIADMK cadre and General Tamil Nadu people are concerned, they are a bit skeptical. So in this situation, it is necessary that it should be tested, and we have a precedence in '96 when there were two chief ministers within a few days in Uttar Pradesh. They were asked to prove their confidence simultaneously.
But camp enjoys the support or the confidence or the backing of DMK cadre as well. At least the indications.
Yes. And Stalin has openly said this. DMK leader Stalin has openly said this. The real question for me is not whether DMK or not.
Will they make a difference? Will their numbers make a
Paneerselvam will avoid that open support of DMK, because that will give a negative message in traditional AIADMK cadres. But what these 120 MLAs who were till Sasikala's disproportionate asset judgment were under a complete vigilance in a resort, what they are going to do, because they will be calculating their political future. On the one hand, as far as party structure is concerned, Sasikala seems to be in control right now, at least. How far Dinakaran will be able to, keep the control tightly. But, now the interesting scene is this guy she has nominated,
Dinakaran.
Palai Sami, Palayan Sami, that he will be an interesting person to watch. Why I'm saying, because few days back Paneerselvam was in the same position.
Correct.
Will he be ready to be a puppet chief minister where Dinkaran will be pulling the strings? Actually, Sasikala will be controlling the government. So, again, Tamil Nadu will be heading for more uncertainty as far as the governance is concerned. So, you're saying
because speculations also are there that it could be similar situation when Paneerselvam pulled it up and said that I was forced to resign.
Absolutely. So, internally there are reports that AIDMK is heading for a major split. It is not limited to expulsion of Paneerselvam or 4, 5, 6 MLAs who have openly come in support of him. So there is a larger process that is going on within AIDMK cadres.
But what Amma's legacy is she talking about when she takes them back? Again, disproportionate assets case, and when earlier there was a lot of talk that her own interests are questionable. Now she's again taken them back, and on the one hand she's talking about keeping up the legacy of Amma and being very righteous.
See,
morally, is she really holding ground in the party?
See, conventionally, traditionally, Tamil Nadu politics has been very sensitive. It has been in India generally. Politics is about personalities and personality centric. But she has stayed with Jayalalitha as a close aide for more than 20 years. She has seen political moves very closely. She is trying to imitate her body language, her style of conveying message, everything. Even if you observed Jayalalitha's public appearance, generally she would come in a green sari. Whenever she came on important occasions to in front of public, she came in a green sari after Jayalalitha's death. So every type of messaging she is trying to do. But as I said in the opening remarks, taking back Dinakaran is going to give, yes, there are chances that it will backfire, because indirectly she is giving the message.
Could be a repeat of what Paneerselvam did.
No, the Dinakaran, getting back Dinakaran is actually defying Amma's will. Amma didn't take him.
That's exactly what I asked you. You're talking about continuing with Amma's legacy, but at the same time you're taking the person whom she had completely ousted from the party folds.
Now this is a totally different game. It is not just for political power or being CM of one of the largest southern states. It is also about claiming legacy. It's also about controlling the. Well, there are many people who are calling now that it should be converted. Paneerselvam himself said he has put his card and he said it should be converted into a Jayalalitha memorial kind of thing, her residence. So all these things. So now the real issue is the asset, the wealth.
I was coming to that now. There are reports which are talking about the Supreme Court verdict. In fact, one of the report was talking about that it is just short of calling her as an asset keeper.
Absolutely.
And nothing else.
See, Jayalalitha had a knack of overshadowing all these issues by clear political messaging of people's Amma. Throughout these years, Sasikala was in the background. She was always seen, her relationship with Jayalalitha was seen with suspicion.
Yes.
So
yes,
in
absolutely.
this background, whether she will be able to overshadow these allegations and these remarks by Supreme Court, as far as the disproportionate asset is concerned, the corruption charges are very difficult to handle with. But Jayalalitha handled them very carefully, very tactically, and her her every political decision and political move actually helped her to, you know, it was completely undermined by next election. You remember, you know, in 1990s when first disproportionate case was open in Sudhakaran's wedding, people were talking about the saris
colour
and
TV
number of
scam.
sandals and all those things. But by the time next election, Jayalalitha overcame
Okay,
that.
since you talked about this, it took 19 years for judiciary to actually come up
21
with...
years.
Okay, 21 years plus 2. 21 years to come up with this, you know, decision and finally kind of writing on the wall that fine, you're now going to jail. That's it. But suddenly, after 21 years, when these political developments were rife in the southern state and you have the verdict, the timings of the verdict.
No, it was actually expected for a long time. Even when, you know, Jayalalitha faced the case to and fro, the case was transferred to Karnataka. So everything was happening in the background. But because of her deteriorating health, then demise, and then this political drama, now we started feeling that, you know, the case, of course, 21 years is a long period.
2 decades.
Yes,
It's
2 decades.
huge.
But that's how our judicial system has been. We can't blame judiciary for that. But this is definitely a very important verdict, I must say, because it is a clear-cut message for the people in the political arena that, you know, the issues of corruption, misgovernance and disproportionate asset will not be
Like one of the
taken
lawyers
light.
yesterday after the verdict was announced immediately said he described them as master criminals.
Yeah, because in a way you are creating the system with corrupt means. You are perpetuating corruption from top to bottom. So the message should be clearly given. Whether person is X, Y, Z, it doesn't matter. And if the rise is miraculous, you know, running a video parlor to owning crores is a huge journey.
Yes.
What makes that possible is obviously that makes Sasikala's character more, you know, suspicious. Why people are so skeptical?
And the clamour to
the way
clamour for power
yes,
at the end of the day.
yes.
Praful, that's all we have for time for. Thank you very much.